Makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good. Block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins Tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins Tailgate's where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins Tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins Tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins Tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait, it's your fate. This is the Fins Tailgate, now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
What is happening, Dolphin fans, and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Tonight's on the tailgate party that never seems to stop. Free agency kicking in gear, boys. I mean, signing some names, some you'll recognize, some re-signings, some new guys. And we also get to hear from our brand spanking new quarterback here in Miami. Malik comes to the podium. I have not listened to it. I actually was like, yo, I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm not going to listen to anything. So I'll have instant reaction to listening to him and answering his questions and all that good stuff. So hit the like button on the way in. Subscribe if you're new. If you're watching on X, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, Cup on a String, note in school, message in a bottle, whatever. Make sure you guys are coming over here to YouTube and subscribing over here on YouTube. Got Ali in the back. Going to bring up the homie right now. What is going on, Ali? How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, brother. I'm hanging in there. We got action. It's
definitely.
You got the college football, you got the Super Bowl, and then you get this like lull period, and then it starts ramping up. Free agency's getting ready to hit, and the trades start happening that week before free agency. Big trades happen. Trades fall through with that freaking Crosby trade. And shout out to the Ravens who pivoted quick. They went and got Trey Henderson. So they turned that right around. They said, no, we want this pass rusher. You ain't working out. We getting the other guy.
Did you hear the rumor?
Well, no. What was the rumor?
With that whole deal? They had Max Crosby in his physical, right? And then one door down was Henderson, and they were making a deal with him while they're doing the physical. That's the rumor that supposedly is legit. That's from what I've heard.
So while they brought Crosby in to do his physical after announcing that they're going to trade that, they were also physicaling Trey Henderson?
I don't know if they're physically doing him, but they were making a deal with him at the same time. So that whole situation is just weird, bro. The whole situation.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong. Well, okay, there is a little bit wrong. So so essentially, with the Ravens, by what you're telling me, they've subverted the rules by dealing with a player because they, non-free agent. So you're dealing with the team getting allowed to speak to the player to either negotiate or uh, you know, do physicals and stuff like that because the trade's not through. They had think about what we're talking here. A team in the NFL had another team's player, not just any player, one of their best players,
Mm-hmm.
in their facility, closed doors with none of his team that's paying him's money in representation. You could talk and speak and learn anything. You could steal secrets that way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's a big deal when you break it down like that. And for them to do it with two different players at the same time, it's weird though to think if it was at the same time, Ali. It's weird to think that why would they announce that they're doing the trade? I mean, maybe that's what they had to do to get him in the building. Did the Bengals know the whole time? I don't know.
I
Weird.
I don't know. Well, Bengals. I don't think the thing with Bengals was a trade. That's just a straight up free agent signing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because I believe that was a
That's
free
right.
agent
You're
signing,
right.
but
They didn't.
it's
That
the
he held
Raiders
out.
that had the trade. So
Yeah, that's right.
here's what I think is kind of like what I think they did. I think they were on the fence of which guy to go with, and they're like, "Hey, let's bring them both in. We'll semi agree and see who gives us the better deal." And I think that's what they decided. Why they decided to go
Well,
with
think about what
Anderson, because
we're
like
seeing here.
real quick, I just want to finish on this one point.
Mhm.
You and I have had the conversation that we think this whole meniscus thing is a bunch of bullshit because we've seen people walk the next day, no problem, right? With
Mhm.
supposedly of what he had done. And they're saying, oh, it's, he failed his physical. I don't really think he failed his physical. I think they just decided, you know what, Henderson gave us a better deal. Let's just go with that route. I think that's what it comes down to. That's just my opinion.
Now, maybe. Well, here. I mean, look at it like this, right? Henderson had the pelvic injury last year, aggravating it also, and then ended up needing to get surgery on it. Was put on IR in 2025 in December, so late in the year, and he really didn't have great stats because he was out most of the year.
Let's also not forget he had that whole holdout with the Bengals too. Because remember about the money?
Mm-hmm. So that was this year, and it's kind of, you wonder, players do this. We know this. They want more money. They say no, want you to play out the last year, and players either fake an injury. I don't want to say fake, but they're all playing injured all the time. So rather than, be a year where you just get something scoped and then play that year, you then go, you know what, I'm going to take that surgery for this hip that's been bothering me or something like that. Like there's a little bit of calculation to that. But it's weird to think that in any measure, Trey Henderson can freely, well, I guess, I don't know, man, because there's just no way that they could have had him in the building because free agency didn't start yet when they announced the trade. That was beforehand. There's no way. So they must have announced the trade, got Max Crosby in there, brought him in for the physical, and when he was there for the physical, free agency has started, and then they brought him in. So that was I don't know, man. It's a lot of moving parts. I gotta imagine no matter how you slice it, if you get Trey Henderson for no trade back versus Max Crosby with a trade package, that's a easy, both are really dominant when they're healthy. It's kind of just a weird way it all went down.
That's kind of like what I was kind of alluding to. Maybe they decided, you know what, we would rather have one, but we don't want to miss out on both guys. So let's see if who we can get. And I think when Henderson said, "Hey, yeah, I'll sign the deal," and they don't have to give up first round picks, it's a no brainer to me. But I just think they should have waited on that trade though, just to make it fair.
What, Ali? There is some gamesmanship by them. They kind of get Max Crosby on a handshake deal into the building, but then have full intention of trying to get Trey Henderson in free agency and never sign him. They kind of wanted to make certain that they got this pass rusher, and they held one in their pocket, got him off the market before the market opened. This is like an insider trading type of thing right here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Hit the like button, everybody. I see we got a couple people in the building. Daniel Berry Sports, my brother Nightmare up in here. Some guy. Listen, Michael K. Just being real, gonna have to change the @2aside hotline because I mean we're like 10 months away from no one ever speaking the name of Tua ever again. Like, you know,
Shout out to Ian, by the way. I question if Suicide is a man. Also, I question that.
Oh, no, there's nothing to question. We do know that is non-binary. That's and that's fine, and they're really accepting of that in Buffalo. That seems to be their credo, right? They really like that, and God bless you. You know, to each their own. To a side hotline, they. Scott Jackson in here. What's up, Scott? What's going on? Oh, look at this guy. Ian in the building, always, you know, putting the screws to me. Joe Riss, what you talking about, Willis? Yo, so we gotta get HB on a meme. What you talking? Ooh. All right, hold on. I gotta write this one down before I forget.
Actually, the cap is trash. Sounds like a good T-shirt to me.
Yeah, not bad. I could actually, yeah, you're right. I should capitalize on it just to fucking get them back.
I could see you sporting that shirt, to be honest. Oh man, yeah, but we made some moves today, man, and I actually kind of like one of the moves. I think one of them is kind of sneaky good in a weird way.
I have a suspicion of which one you're thinking of, so we're going to get into all those things here momentarily. What I was writing down is the what you talking about, Willis. I've got a video idea on that. Thank you, Joe Rist, for that.
Ooh.
Hit the like button, everybody. Flava J coming up in the house. What's up, Flava J? Salute, my brother. Hit the like button.
What's up, Flava J?
So yeah, Ali, we're gonna get to the Malik Willis video at the end. Again, I'm excited. Now, when we're gonna go through some of these additions, there's some re-sign, there's some guys, you know, that are new. I'm not putting stock in one way or the other with anyone. I don't know what to expect from this coaching staff. I don't know what to expect from our general management. I mean, look, they can sign. There's been a few DBs that have been signed, some safeties, some cornerbacks and stuff like that. None of these guys could even make the team come draft time. They could go heavy in that. And I don't know. I don't even know what to expect from Sully, right? This is what I'm talking about. I know what to expect from Chris Greer. I understood him. I understood how he played the game. I always said that Chris Greer had one of the hardest jobs in all of sports when it comes to general managers, because not only did he have to general manage a job and pick talent and things, but he also had to be overruled by upper management to say, we want to pay this guy or we want you to go draft that guy. And it was painfully apparent to me. And every time I made my predictions as a Dolphins fan wasn't what I want to have happen. And I say this all the time. I'm not telling you on this network what I want to have, happen. I'm telling you what I think is going to happen. And what I think is going to happen is based upon what I know of this organization, how they operate, what they're doing, and a combination of all these things. Now, I still have, as you do too, Ali, we still know that the puppeteers, the puppet masters, excuse me, that are pulling all the strings are the same guys. But as we also know that those guys kind of take a step back in these years. They really do. They kind of want to see what the new head coach does. They kind of want to see what the new general manager does. Now, here's the fucking thing. And I'm going to say this for you Dolphin fans right now listening, and pay attention. Okay? Because just like I do know and am predicting what happens, it's because I know for certain. Halfley, Sully, these guys get some successes that's when these boys will enter and get involved. They want to be involved in the successes because they want to make sure that when you say they made this pick or this evaluation or what have you, that their name's attached to the successes. And then when it looks to be a success or you kind of got a little something, they really start getting involved. And that's when we overpay guys, we reach in drafts, we go to free agency and make big trades. And ultimately we do what we just did again. So I do believe that that's a possibility. I don't know uh, how Eric Sullivan, now being a guy from the outside, brought in general management, is he going to be able to stand on his own 2 feet and push back and really remain to have control over this, or will he slowly but surely be, assimilated into the collective and a cog in the wheel? And that's kind of, and I don't know, and I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, right? But I will predict that if and when they got successes, you'll hear Brandon Beal, you'll see these guys, they'll come in, they'll start making moves, and you'll see those guys at the table at the press conference or whatever it is. Like that's when it happens. And I see it. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here it comes. Now, whether I like the move or not, whether it'll work or not, I am seeing the same flow of business out of there. But as we currently sit here today, March 12th, 2026, I'm not going to make any over assumptions on anyone brought with whatever the roster ends up.
You're right back.
Okay. I'm not going to overanalyze anything in any way because I could be really wrong. This is a whole new regime. And at least on the surface of the Halfley Sully conglomerate, they're of one mind. They're together. They seem to be on the same page, having the same vision and working towards the same goal and making these decisions. Case in point, he went and as soon as they got rid of Tua and had this money and all this stuff and made a couple of moves, and they've said we're going and paying and getting a quarterback that we know that we want to install our next Miami Dolphins. And that's a little bit of a leap of faith to me. Like, to me, it was whatever, right? I again, I'm not going to tell you what I would do, because if it was what I do, I wouldn't have brought Malik Willis in here. And that is not to say that I don't think Malik Willis is not going to be a good quarterback. I do think he's a good, decent quarterback. I just don't think when you're paying a quarterback $20 million or more, like they're paying him a year, because that's what it is, $67 million for 3 years. That's $22 million on average a year, give or take a few $100,000. And there's $45 million guaranteed for 3 years. Now I get it. You can tell me, well, Cap, if you look at it with the way of starting quarterbacks making, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? If we fucking went and bought a quarterback for $5 million on free agency and made him a starting quarterback, I could say, look, guess what? It's only $5 million starting quarterback. That's only 15% of what the average starting quarterback. Like, I can't stand it, bro. Like, don't tell me how good of a sweet deal I just got on a guy that, I don't know, right? We don't know. In my prediction, I wouldn't do that. I would look at the roster. I would tank this team into the fucking dirt. I would get younger. I would give every guy who knows how to play football and played in college an opportunity to make this squad. And I would throw all kinds of craziness while installing, certain things that I know that I'm going to need. I would be more concerned with architecting my coaching staff and the coaching points and building the mentality along with the fundamentals for the type of football team I'm going to have in here and the competition. And that's going to take all fucking year. And I still think that's what they're doing. I wouldn't do that with a quarterback. Now, pause. Let's take a step back. That could be exactly what they're doing. And I would say if you asked Halfley and Sully, why did you just get Willis and stuff like that, they would say he's the exact guy we do need to be successful in rebranding, rebuilding, and installing the culture, the coaching habits, the competition, and all of the above for what we're going to do. And we need that guy that knows this and we can trust to do it. because there's going to be a lot of young guys around that need a leader, right? This team is leaderless. It's been leaderless for a while. We have some leadership guys, and they're still around. Zach Sealer's still here. Jordan Brooks still here. Re-signed Willie Gahey, but we'll get into that too. Willie Gay. I don't know why I said Gahey. And that's why I was like stumbling. I'm like, that's not Willie. It's not Gahey. What the fuck is this fucking name again? Anyhow, hit the like button, everybody. Yeah. So to me, I'm not gonna overreact on any of the signings, good or bad, because in retrospect, picking Tua at 5, not good. Paying Tua, very bad. Picking up Tyreek Hill for the trade package, I say very good. I thought Tyreek Hill, as far as what you traded and got and wanted to get, did pretty damn good. Re-signing him after you re-signed him, not so good. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Ramsey, the trade, I understood it at the time. Wouldn't have done it, but I understood it. Then they re-signed him and renewed him and did all that. Not good. Definitely wouldn't have done that. So, but again, I'm going to give these guys some leash. I'm going to give them some leeway, some slack. And I'm even giving them season. Like, dude, if they come out and they look lost, if this team comes out and looks lost, there's clock management problems, there's scheme problems, there's adjustment problems, I'm going to point it out. I'm going to say this is bullshit. They need to get it cleaned up. But I'm not going to go fire everybody, trade everybody, get rid. I want to see some growing pains. I want to see some learning. I want to see things in the beginning of the season and how it's worked out and they grow as a football team. That's what I'm looking for. And it's going to be a young team. So I'm not going to overreact one way or another on anyone, even now added, because like I said earlier, these guys that are signed could lose their job to a high draft pick or someone they bring in later, the second wave. Hit the like button, everybody. Let's get into it. Let's start going through the list of these guys that the Dolphins have signed via free agency. We'll start number 1 with Malik Willis before we get into going down a little bit of a list here. I mean, hey, Linda, hit the like button. What's up, Craig? I see you in chat, buddy. Salute. I would say, on the flip side of every sense of why the Miami Dolphins chose to bring Malik Willis in here, I would say it's not the worst decision I've seen this team make, right? And again, if this is them paying $45 million guaranteed to say this guy's going to help build the program we're creating, and for $45 million over the next 3 years, it's a bargain. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. I'm not a fucking idiot. And we talked about it last episode just a few days ago that they draft a quarterback and, we get a top whatever quarterback, say the 4th quarterback taken in the draft next season, and he's going to sit behind Malik Willis as a rookie and learn behind him. And then he's going to have to compete. And yeah, he might have some God-given talents that, this or that. But you know what? Malik Willis knows the fucking playbook better than he does. And he's going to have to wait behind him until he can take him down. He's going to have to sit on the bench. I'm fine with that. That would actually be – Miami Dolphins haven't shown any foresight, restraint in any way in which they do business here in the NFL. For years now, everything is an overcorrection, an overspend, or we got something right now. Let's fucking put it on steroids and fucking try to get every fucking red cent out of that bitch. I'm sick of it. I've always wanted this team to take the hard road. And if they're going to take a guy and build the hard road and draft a guy and make him sit behind Malik Willis next year, no matter who it is, that's going to make me feel good. That's going to show me change. Ali, what do you think, buddy, about this Malik Willis?
I agree with you. I want them to take the harder road as well, rather than just overpaying or trying to trade for like the top talent and wasting all your picks for that. And one thing you were talking about, I just want to comment. I had to take a phone call, so I had to walk away for a second. In regards to Sully himself, not necessarily Halfley, but Sully, due to the fact of him being a person that was with the Packers organization for pretty much his whole NFL career and everything, and the positions that he held. If anybody that we brought in knows how to run with a collective, it's him, because their whole organization is run as a collective. Being the fact that they're a Packer, the Packers don't have an owner. The whole city pretty much owns. In fact, their front office is a real collective, even more so than ours. So,
touche.
That being said, and the fact that this guy actually comes from what I call real scouting background. I know Chris Greer had a scouting background as well, but if you look where this guy started and where he scouted, this guy scouted the best.
We all know,
right?
We all know because of Bobby Greer. Chris Greer kind of started on at least second base, right? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And the thing, what I'm trying to say is that one thing I do expect is it may not be like home run hitters on every single pick, but I'm willing to bet on these second, third, fourth round picks, Sully's going to find some real special talent. We might be one of these teams that end up with a receiver you never heard of, and he's the next biggest thing in the NFL. To give you an example, right? I do expect
did
that.
do good on those middle picks, though, Ali. He was infamous for
some of them.
With the second, third, and fourth
some of them he did. I mean, some of them he did. But to be honest, to be fair, though, if you really go back and look at it, right, at some of those picks that we say he hit on, what did they really do? I mean, Jay Ajayi, yeah, he won a Super Bowl after he got traded to the Eagles, and then you never saw him again, right? You look at Jarvis Landry, right? We say it was all that, but when he went to Cleveland, he didn't really do anything. You know, wherever else he played, he didn't really do anything. You go and look at other players. I think that's the biggest misconception, that people think that we always have the best talent. Even who was the edge that Jalen Phillips, that we just traded to the Eagles, right? The first 2 weeks, everybody said he's the best thing since sliced bread as an Eagle, right? But then after that, I didn't even hear his name. I didn't hear his name called out once after that.
Paid big bucks, though, dude. I mean,
he did get paid big bucks. Don't get me wrong. My point is that just because you got paid big bucks doesn't mean it's always going to work out. That's all I'm saying. It's like I would rather us take hit on every single one of our mid picks than worrying about necessarily one pick. That's kind of what I was talking about. But go ahead, sir. I didn't mean to disrupt the show with my take.
Brother, no, please, Ali. That's why you're up here, dog. Hit the like button, everybody. I see a couple people sliding through in chat. 310 Mike, come on over here to YouTube, man. Get in chat over here. Joe Riss says Biscayne Bay Packers. That's kind of where we're going at. G2, what's up, brother? I see what you're saying. We're gonna get into CJ Daniels talk. Oh, look, Spence done crawled through up here. What's up, Spence? How you been, buddy? Yeah, the Eagles would love that pick back from Phillips. Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would. Yeah, get rid. Phillips, to me. Well, won't they get a compensatory pick now?
Where did he sign with, by the way? Where did he sign?
He signed with the Panthers. Like
he went to the Panthers of all places. Wow,
yeah, dude. Well, to me, the Panthers are the new Dolphins.
What was his deal? Was it pretty big? Really big?
It was. Yeah, I'll get you real quick.
I've been so busy at work, bro. I didn't really get all the news. Sorry.
Yeah, hold on. He got 4-year, $120 million with $80 million guaranteed.
Why don't we just start training everybody to the Panthers? All of our players want to go there and spend, get paid $100 million anyway.
I mean, dude, to me, that's what you got to get on it.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, all right. So Malik Willis, we're gonna say, look, good. If I guess in the sense that the Dolphins are gonna get money next year, and the following year they're pretty much cleared all the way up in 2028. They'll have plenty of money if they wanted to cut them and get loose from it and stuff like that. I got it. Fine, you guys win. It's a sweet deal, high upside, not a lot of risk. To me, though, 45 million for the output of play that he's had seems a little rich for my blood. And plus the way in which I wanted this team to go about. But I do see at least what they're thinking, and how they're feeling. I don't know. Maybe they want allies in the locker room. There's a bit of a way in which things are done. And if you have the quarterback that's familiar with that, it can help the young guys that are going to be all over the team implement these changes. And again, if you're valuing that in your calculus of the 45 million guaranteed $67 million contract of Malik Willis, then there you go. I always try to look at the money and things like they're never just buying the football. You know what I'm saying? They're buying jersey sales. They're buying they're like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill did not just come with production on the football field. He came with production on the football field, immense jersey sales. The guy went on every podcast and on every freaking soapbox he could find in a freaking continental United States, and stood on and sang the praises of your quarterback. PR department, doing his own podcast and all that stuff in purview of PR that you purchased with Tyreek Hill, all that stuff. Shit. Look at Teron Armstead. They paid Teron Armstead a bunch of money to get off this team. What's he been doing since then? He started the podcast. He's been doing nothing but kissing Miami Dolphins' ass. You know why? Because that was part of the fucking deal. Okay, it's not by accident, people. It's part of the deal. It's part of what they purchase. He might truly feel about a lot of these things, but it's also, guess what? I love the Miami Dolphins. They let me go and gave me $19 fucking million to do it. Like, think about what we're talking here. So whenever I look at, Malik Willis is being paid, I'm not just like, yeah, they're paying him on potential and stuff like that. And those things aren't wrong or necessarily untrue, as much as there's more that they're paying for. And that's what I'm taking into my calculus, in which case, fully on you. Another signing, which was a re-signing that I think we talked about the other day that I love, is we brought back Greg DeLuch. This guy, snap for snap impact, he was popped off the screen. We got a lot of work out of the tight ends, and he was a big part of it. So
must re-sign for me. It was a must. No questions asked.
Yeah. I mean, for the money, it was what, a little under 2 mil or whatever the hell it was. It's nothing. Super good. Super, super good deal for us. I'm not upset about that. Also, another re-signing, Willie Gay Jr. He didn't play as much as I thought we were going to see him last year. A lot of special teams, but not as much on the field as Dolphin fans. Like, I remember we were all hyped. We were like, we're going to see this guy. He's cool with what's his name? The problem is that he plays the same position that Jordan Brooks plays, and Jordan Brooks is so fucking good. You are not taking him off the field, right? If you can help it. And Willie Gay usually plays with Dotson. They're like old buddies and stuff like that. And we wanted to see that duo, but Dotson and Brooks was hard to keep off the field. But it is good to see Willie Gay back up in this month. What do you think about that?
Just to be clear about Willie Gay, it wasn't like he wasn't doing good in games, because when he was on the field, non-special team position, he made plays. You could notice it.
Yeah, you were like, "Oh shit, the Willie Gay in the game."
So this is really a good move, to be honest. It's one of the moves I did like, bringing him back, and they got him on a good deal too. I'm not that's I think that was kind of a sneaky good move. I think he fits the mold of what Halfley wants to do anyway. So yeah, definitely.
Now, something of someone we didn't sign that I wish we would have gotten, and it's crazy. Injured last year, didn't play. Colors got to be freaking punching the air right now thinking about it. Cater Kohu ends up signing with the Chiefs.
He's dead to me.
Do not get. I don't think they had tenure on him or something. So he ends up signing with the Chiefs, and he put on his X account, he tweeted survivor's remorse.
Damn.
What does that mean, dude? What does that mean?
I think, personally, I think he didn't like the whole dysfunctionality of what was going on in the locker room and everything else with Tua and all that. I think there was major problems. Like, we know there were major problems, but I think there was some major, major problems. If you understand what I mean. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
think.
to me, the way
Like,
in
we
which
only know parts of it. We just know what's out in the open. It's what we don't know that is scary. You know what I mean? There's probably way more to the stories. So
I have this feeling that Tua, as a human and a person, is an overwhelmingly charismatic, likable person, right? And alongside with that and management trying to protect him makes it real hard to push back on everything that was happening in Miami. You know what I'm saying? The show me the money, all that stuff. And as competitors, like, to me, when it comes time to money, I want to get paid, but like when it comes time to just working hard and winning, nobody could look at that and think this isn't as good as they say it is. It was obviously inflated in a million different ways, and I don't care. Even the successes the Dolphins did get with Tua at the helm, that was carried by the likes of talent, coaching, and everything else. It never was about. There was some dynamic plays. I don't want to belittle Tua in that manner, but ultimately, the brightest that fucking star ever shined was not in the NFL. It wasn't.
you know how, like, and we call them the best friends club, right? When it comes to the certain players
The
and
cool kid
Tua and
club.
stuff,
Yeah, the
right?
cool
They're
kid
all
club.
buddy buddy and friends and all that stuff. I think Kader Krihu was, though he may
Bummed me out.
portrayed himself as one of those friends, I think he basically said, you know what? It was all a lie. It was a sham. There was no best
Mhm.
friends club, and he realized the hypocrisy and the whole ridiculousness of it. So part of me kind of feels for the guy because I do think he was a dog. When he was on the field, he did his job, bro. Win, lose, or whatever. Even when we were getting our ass kicked, he came out and did his job. You know what I mean? And you
Mhm.
didn't really hear from him whining and complaining about others. And I think he was
And
just
he
sick of the
always got
bullshit.
better and always worked hard, man. You
Yeah,
gotta remember,
exactly.
he
Exactly.
worked himself as a UDFA from the depth chart and made every opportunity all the way to a starter, all the way to the year before last. They were putting him at all three positions at corner because he could. I mean, we know he ain't playing the boundary really great, but they had to put him out there, and he got beat a couple times, but not as bad as you would think. You know, like the guy, I'll miss him. No one could tackle, like Color said, no one tackled better in the box than him.
Yeah, man. He was a dog out there. And that's for
Dog.
me, especially he had that like chip on his shoulder, like, because you're undrafted, people think you're not
Mhm.
good enough, and he had something to
Proven
prove.
himself.
And
Mhm.
he didn't care. He just went straight to work. Day one, you knew he was going to have something. You know what I mean? And I think, personally, I think he's more of a no nonsense kind of guy. And based on what he saw last year, and even probably late the season prior, he was probably just like, fuck this, bro. I don't want to be a part of this. And regardless, he ended up leaving at the end, which sucks. So that's what he means by victim's remorse. Not being, he's not the
Survivor's
buyer,
remorse.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was the victim in a sense. Why did I want to be here? Kind of a thing,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sucks. But c'est la vie. Good luck to him. I'm sure he'll have plenty of success in Kansas City, for crying out loud. Great.
Oh, yeah, it's Kansas
Um,
City. Yeah.
yep. So another name that came up that was a little bit of I don't know if it's a shock, right? But we let go of Jason Sanders. He didn't play
Hmm.
all year last year. I think Jason the Sandman Sanders will come back and be kicking somewhere, and we'll see him. Shout out to watch out where Sandman will end up. Look for him in the
I'm betting Buffalo. I'm betting Buffalo.
I was thinking
Because
more.
they love our. If you go back in history, they love our field goal kickers. They've
They
had all
do.
of ours.
You're right. They do. There has been a long line of our. I mean, all the way back to Dan Carpenter, and they paid
Yeah.
him big bucks to come there. To other kickers coming back in that way. Yeah, you know. Look, so the Dolphins go and get Zane Gonzalez, formerly of the Atlanta Falcons. You know, it's I give it. I don't know because they also still kept the kicker that we had in place of him last year, in place of Sam Sanders last year, and Riley Patterson, who I mean, Riley Patterson doesn't seem to possess the leg, but the son of a bitch inside 50 is fucking money, right? And that was kind
Yeah.
of, I mean, that's kind of Sandman Sanders too. Sandman Sanders didn't, I mean, he kicked some really long ones and made them, but we knew he was really good from like 51, 52 and up. He was money on that. It was when he got, you know, about 53, 4, 5. Those were the ones that he didn't have the leg, it seemed like for. But we have a kicking battle right now.
Yeah, we have a kickers battle, which it's good. Competition is good. I encourage it, even as a field goal kicker. I just kind of thought maybe we would draft somebody and sign the guy we already had, but it is what it is. Kane Gonzalez, or I'm sorry, not Kane, Zane Gonzalez, I apologize, actually was the guy that I wanted us to sign before we got Patterson, to be honest.
Is that right?
So,
Well,
yeah, so it's
fucking
kind
circle.
of full circle.
Fucking circle, buddy. So,
Yeah.
just to give a little bit of a breakdown of what will be a hot topic here in Miami Dolphins talking football land. We're gonna kicker battle on here: Riley Patterson versus Zane Gonzalez. You know, whatever. Here's just a little bit on it. Riley Patterson would technically be the incumbent in this situation. He made 27 of 29 kicks in 2025. So for the Dolphins, he only missed 2 field goals and only 1 extra point. 35 extra points tries, made 34 of them. I don't know what more you can ask from a guy, right? I mean, that's pretty damn good as far as what you're you know, I mean, fuck, let's go ahead. Let's see what else we got.
We do need a punter too, don't we? Because Bailey signed with somebody. I know he signed with somebody, not the Dolphins.
That's probably somebody they'll get.
Atlanta.
Oh, he signed to Atlanta. That's right. We swapped kickers. I think you're right. Yeah.
But no, King Gonzalez does not punt. He is a field goal kicker though.
Yeah, doesn't what's his name? What doesn't didn't Riley Patterson punt too? Can he punt too?
Let me check.
I think he can punt too. But a little bit on Zane Gonzalez is last year at Atlanta's kicker for 9 games. He was 19 of 22. They signed him mid-season, brought him in. He was 18 of 28 from beyond 50 yards and was 7 of 9 from that range last year. He has a career long of a 57-yarder, which is higher than Patterson's 54, which again, I think Patterson, if you're asking Patterson to kick 54-yarders, you're in trouble. If you're asking him to kick you a 49-yarder, he's fucking money. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. In the league where kickers are now sinking them for 60 like it's routine all of a sudden, people are looking to find an edge in football.
Real quick, can you look at the 2024 results for King Gonzalez? Because I think 2024 he had a better season, to be honest. I think.
I don't believe so. I mean, I'm sure I could find it, but
we can talk. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
50+ number, dude. I mean, 52, 53 yards is crucial in this league, man.
Yeah, that is true. I mean,
that's them kicks that quietly win football games that they make in like the third quarter when nobody's paying attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Here, I got a little bit of percentages on Gonzalez right here. He has a career percentage of 81% conversion on his field goals, which is definitely lower than Patterson, who's 87.4.
Yeah, we all know who else that's lower than whatever.
I just don't know. I guess if you were going to re-sign Patterson, why did you get Gonzalez? But I guess they want competition across the board. That's probably what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, no complacency. It's building the culture, man, of no complacency.
I get you.
So apparently,
I always used to wonder why we'd bring in a punter when we had Reggie Roby. We'd bring in a punter every year. It's like, why?
Well, make sure.
And also to build one up to trade to somebody else if you had to.
Maybe. So yeah, Zane Gonzalez didn't kick at all in 2022 and 2023, and in 2024 he came back for it very limited, only having 7 attempts in 2024, making 5 of them. So, and then he signed midseason. So
I wonder why. I remember him on my list. I just don't know why he was somebody I wanted. Maybe because I just wanted somebody cheap, just so we could drop him off. I don't know after Sanders comes back, but it is what it is. I like Patterson though. I like him.
I gotta imagine Patterson's gonna win this, but hey, listen, he rolls his ankle and fucking can't play. We got a guy in the building.
And you don't get much older a name than Patterson, bro. Like that dude, that is an ancient ass name, bro.
So
I think the first things we freaking thought of calling each other. Well, that's his father's son. That's what we'll name him.
So the Dolphins elected not to bring back Julian Hill, which I could understand. The guy, Julian Hill, is one of the hot and cold players I've ever seen. He would, look like a guy that it could be a playmaker, and then he would give you 4 penalties in a row. He would literally, I've watched Julian Hill on routine for a couple years, straight destroy an entire momentum on a scoring drive and fucking destroy or literally kill all momentum in relief. It's so weird. And then you'd watch him come out there, chip block, get loose, make a nice grab, blow over a guy, and fucking pick up a need, 2nd and 14, he gets 17 yards. You're like, the fuck? So again, out of here. The hot and cold of Julian Hill is gone. And the Dolphins also elect to bring in Ben Sims, tight end, restricted free agent. What do you, Ali? What do you think of this move here?
Well, if you know anything about the Packers, historically, they have very good tight ends. They have everybody from Bubba Franks, all the way up. Even this year, they had a really good tight end. So for me, I kind of expected them to bring in a tight end. There's another tight end that's rumored that between us and another team, and if we bring him in, this tight end room's going to see a lot of action. And that's the guy from Cleveland, Njoku, who used to play for the Miami Hurricanes.
I know. I have heard
you bring him in here, I will be very happy. That changes my whole thought process of what we're doing, to be honest, because I think he was very effective and even underrated as a Cleveland Brown. But you bring him here down to Miami, he's already used to the Miami lifestyle. He's used to the heat and everything. And he can play in cold weather. I like him. He's a big tight end too. Big guy. Say what?
What color?
I wholeheartedly endorse that take.
You're very welcome. I agree 100%. Go get me Njoku. I'll be happy. I think he'll be your playmaking tight end. Dulcich will come in. He can block and still be your your secondary playmaking tight end. And then you also got Ben Sims. We'll see what happens. But I would like to draft a tight end, though. There's a couple tight ends in this draft that I really like, to be honest.
Yeah, there's some dynamic, sneaky guys in the mid rounds.
Solid tight end,
definitely.
There's some sneaky talented tight ends coming out of college. You can get in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round that are guys that and to me, if they brought Njoku in here and made him a part of this team, that's signaling that they're looking to put 2 tight ends on the field and quite a bit of packages with run protection and those outside stretch sweeps that they do at the Packers, those outside zone runs where they have kind of what we saw out of the Dolphins when Mike McDaniel came up to the podium last year and said, I don't care. We're going to do something. I don't care what we got to do. If we got to make a change at quarterback, we will. Basically, we're changing it. And they switched up and went from this quick passing game to a real true West Coast run downhill outside zone fucking split the gaps where essentially you're just run out and whatever gap opens you hit. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm glad you made the two tight end package comment there, because I agree with that 100%. And not only just did we see that in Green Bay, but Hafley at Boston College, and Hafley has experience with that at Ohio State too, in other colleges that he was at, where they run a lot of two tight end packages. So that is something that I could see happen here very well. So if they bring in Njoku plus the guys we have, maybe tight, and then maybe draft somebody, that'll be a very interesting room. Very interesting room.
And it kind of again, it's funny because when Mike McDaniel last year made those changes, we even said, "Oh, he's tapping into the West Coast roots of Green Bay," and the way in which they run these stretch run plays and stuff like that, and it's interesting. It must be something they really liked seeing last year, because we're going to get a whole bunch of it, I think, and I'm here for it. I like that. It's a little bit more of football I like. Another guy that the Dolphins brought in, which it's kind of funny because just to touch back and shout out to Michael in chat who says Julian Hill is a Patriot. Julian Hill did go to the Patriots, and the Dolphins sign an ex-Patriot in here. Edge rusher Joshua, excuse me, Uche, or what is it? Is it Uch? There's a Uche. I don't know. But he's a former second round pick by the Patriots, and this is a sneaky good signing, I think. Ali, the guy had 11 sack season in his career. We definitely need help, obviously. Low risk, high reward. When the Dolphins fans say that, it's low risk, high reward for Malik Willis, this is what low risk, high reward looks like right here. Because there's going to be, you have what your young guys who you're going to give a lot of snaps to on the edges and stuff like that. You're going to want to see Chop every second you can, because if he ain't it, get them fuck up out of here. But to have a veteran with some varying successes, I'll take it. Let's okay, here we go. So we also bring in a safety. We lost Minkah Fitzpatrick via trade to the Jets, which I don't know if you guys seen his presser, but he looks like a defeated man. He doesn't look long for the NFL. Minkah Fitzpatrick. He looks like someone who seems to be on his last NFL leg, if I do say so. So we bring in a safety. This guy, he's from the Raiders. 1-year deal. Lonnie Johnson Jr. I mean, dude. Yeah, sure. I'm more interested in seeing Ashton Davis and Melifanu brought back here. Hopefully they figure a way to get those guys re-signed. I
don't want Ashton Davis here. I want none of those guys.
No, I mean,
I don't want any of those guys, to be honest.
Upside, they're cheap. Again, I'm looking to find talent for cheap and build building blocks with young talent in a year that I feel like, I don't want to waste things. Now, Lonnie brought in here. He is his former second round pick. So, he has a pedigree to go along with him. I could see that. I'm just saying that, if we're going to start filling out our room, let's see. What do you think, Ali?
Well, I would rather have Ashton Davis. I'm sorry, I take that back. I would not rather have Ashton Davis. What I'm trying to say is that I would rather draft somebody than Ashton Davis. There's a couple mid-round guys we could definitely get. There's a guy out of Toledo who I think is going to be a hell of a pickup, to be honest, and as a safety. And he's probably one of the hardest hitting safeties I've seen. To be honest, if you watch how he plays, not only is he one of the hardest hitting safeties, he's also one of the best tacklers, in my opinion, in this draft. And we could very well get him in the second or third round for, I think the third round specifically.
If you're talking about a third round safety with that type of impact, I'm about it, baby.
Yeah, I mean,
High
bro,
value at it.
you know how they used to say, Rashad Jones used to be like the hardest hitting safety coming out of college. He played, who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
he has that. He has that type of hard hitting tackle ability, and not only can he play free safety at a very high level, he can play strong safety at a very high level too. A lot of people, some people, like for example, Steve thinks he's more of a free safety. I don't know. With his tackling ability, I wouldn't mind him being there up against the line, going up against the run, going after quarterbacks. When he gets his hand on you, though, you are going down. That's the success rate he has.
I like it. I'll be keeping an eye out for it. Again, I'm about hard hitting safeties. I do worry, and this is where Rashad Jones was incredible and completely, for a Georgia kid that didn't. They were worried about him in coverage. He turned what usually is the in the box tackling like free safeties get out of line. They commit too much, right? Rashad was so good at giving up too much grass in front of him, but closing the distance that it never got him. You know what I'm saying? If this kid can do that, I'm about it. Real quick, the edge rusher that we brought in, who played last year with the Eagles, he played in 12 games, 23 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits, 23 pressures, 1 pass defended, and 1 sack in 2025 for Josh Uche. So,
hey, I almost forgot. The person I was referencing, who was Emmanuel McNeil Warren, that's the player I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Guess where he's from?
From the 561?
No, not from the 561, but he is from Florida. He's from St. Petersburg area. So I'll take it. I'll take it, bro. I'll take the.
Hey, listen,
watch this tape. I'll send you some film, bro. I'll send you some film.
Please send me some film, because we're getting ready we're gonna be draft time coming up next. We're getting so close. I'm so excited about it.
Which you guys can also watch on 4th and 10, because we'll be going live on draft day all 3 days. So
fucking awesome, dude. What a fucking plug. Way to get it.
Yeah.
Hit the like button. All right. So another signing that the Miami Dolphins brought in here, secondary help. We need it. Zane Anderson. This is a special teams guy. Which the Dolphins, for quite a few years now, this 4th, 5th rotation core special teamer DBs are called into games, and they've been looking good. Like Campbell, remember that fucking guy? Campbell looked great when he was called in. We're seeing that stuff, but this will be a special teams ace guy in Zane Anderson. But they also brought in another cornerback, Alex Austin. So again, New England Patriot, had a rough season last year. Not that great, but equal opportunity up in Miami right now for DBs who, we have nobody, right? They also bring in another one, Darnell Baker, had a bad season in 2025. I think it was Darnell Baker with Arizona or something. I can't remember. I had it written down on this, but I don't know what the hell I did with it. But yeah, AJ Green the third, which is a guy we had on futures and stuff. So they signed him. Just a bunch of young DBs. And you know what? Say what you want, but if you want to put the fix in without putting the fix in, you sign young, speedy, inexperienced DBs and try to figure it out. You'll definitely.
I read somewhere we're the youngest team in the NFL now. At what, average age of 25 or something like that?
25.7.
Like
Joe Riss said.
Oh wow, you don't say.
The same thing Color has been talking about the whole time.
Yeah, Color's like, listen, I don't want anyone over 26. Cut them.
It's almost like orange man level winning, dude, as much as I'm right, dude. Like, are you guys tired of me being right yet, bro?
Oh,
Well, I keep reminding the audience here that what we say that's gonna happen, we're never wrong about because we're just that far that
it's
by the
true.
time you catch up to where we were, there you go.
Yeah, and we're not like the rest of the guys where it's like they'll tell you it's gonna rain, and you're like, "Oh my god, what a prophetic statement!" You know?
Yeah, no. I'm telling you that there's sunshine through the rain, and here's what time it's gonna show up in 3 days, and you're gonna be like, and then when it does, you're gonna go, well, you were right, but you're still an asshole for being right. It's like, fuck, dude, you can't win.
I'm
What's
gonna
up,
tell you
Brad
Mhm.
Boss?
how
Hit the
much
like
tan
button.
it's gonna put on your
Did you
skin.
talk about the receiver we brought in already?
No, not yet, not yet.
Yeah,
Nope,
yeah.
saving
Okay.
that best for last.
Okay,
What's up,
good.
Ken?
And
How are you?
yeah, is that Kenna?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up,
mean,
Kenna?
yo, Kenna, man, we did we were on the brink, bro. We got as far as we were gonna get this year, man, but go you.
What up, Mo? Salute, Mo. Where you been at, dog?
Yeah, Mo. Oh, it's draft season. Mo's got to be coming around.
shit.
It's draft season.
Oh shit, you right. Mo coming with the info, dog. Mo, hit me up. Yeah, so
Mo's like, I just got back from the presses, gentlemen.
Mo's like, you're not gonna believe who I fucking just got off the phone with. We re-signed Matthew Butler, which that's a super win. I think Butler's been really fucking good for us. I like that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, another news before we get to the last guy I want to talk about, free agent we picked up. Austin Jackson restructures his deal. Dolphins end up getting able to, they front ended some money, gave him pretty much $5.5 million up front, and
Sounds like his smoke detector's working.
but voided the remaining 4 years of his contract. So he's basically a $7 million deal restructured to 5.4 and voided the remainder of the contract.
Ain't no chirp coming from his smoke detector.
No. Well, again, Austin Jackson, odd, because it seems like when he's out there, the Dolphins are clicking on run and pass protect. Like,
Well,
but
it's just the new regime thing, and you're an offensive lineman, and all them deals, forget all them deals.
Well, who knows? Maybe he can at least fetch us something
that is one thing I do expect to be different in this with Sully, knowing the Packers. And I hate referencing them much, but that's where all of his experience has been. They're known for always having a really good offensive line. So I expect us to be kind of heavy movers for offensive line, both in the draft and in free agency. But I think we're going to see more success rather than 1 or 2 year projects, then get success out of it. You know what I mean? Because like Austin
100%.
Jackson, he was kind of good in the beginning, and then he like disappeared for like 2 years, and then he made a comeback. Right? That's kind of like, I don't expect that with who we get with Sully at that position, because everybody they drafted over there generally hits the wall running, or hits the road running, or whatever the term is I'm looking for. Yeah, hitting the ground running. Exactly.
Yeah, we're the only ones that hit the wall running here.
Yeah, that's sorry. That's what I meant. That's what I was thinking at the same
hitting
time.
the wall running all the time, Ali. You were correct.
Yeah.
Think it'd knock us back. No, we just sit there and chop our feet, man.
Hey, fucking you can say we ain't doing it right, but you cannot question our effort, goddamn. Fuck you.
Speaking of which, shout out to the Packers, who drafted a Persian at offensive line, who was one of the best offensive linemen in the league for several years, by the way. So shout out to him.
What Persian are we talking about?
God, what was the dude that blocked for Aaron Rodgers forever and a day? Give me a second, I'll tell you his name. He was gonna sign with the Packers too, and I don't think they signed him or something like that.
The Iron Sheik.
Everyone says that. The Iron Sheik is actually from Minnesota. He would be a Viking, if anything.
Right.
Tell him that guy's fucking Iranian.
But that's okay, Ali, because I'm pretty sure there were Vikings in the Persian court anyway.
Yeah, aren't they all? I mean,
they were
yeah,
in everybody's
the Roots were Vikings
Yes,
and they're
yes,
fucking
they
Persian.
were.
They were like the world's mercenary, the world's bodyguards.
Oh,
for
here it
like
is.
the
David
entire Viking years.
Bakhtari. You know who Bakhtari is?
David Bastari. Yeah, Bastari's that guy that's fucking
Oh, yeah.
hurling missiles right now, right?
Bastari or Bastardi?
Not Bastardi. Bakhtari.
I think there's
David
a Bastardi as
Bakhtari.
well.
It's Bakhtiari.
Oh, okay.
And he
there's a Bastardi as well in the league.
He played in the league from 2013 to 2023 and had multiple all-pro seasons. He played left tackle forever and a day. Pretty much Aaron Rodgers' career, he was there. So,
if he was Italian, it wouldn't be Bastardi, it'd be Bastardo.
Oh, it's know what? True. Yeah, and it's not a football player. It's somebody we've seen like on the TV. It's she actually is a CPA for the NFL or something, senior vice president, chief accounting officer for the NFL, Danielle Bastardi.
Sounds like a plant color.
I thought it was a player. I thought there was a Bastardi player, but there's
Bakhtari is who I'm talking about. Bakhtari.
Chief.
Do you think it was Bastardi? Like, I don't know why. Yeah, Kenna, we did talk about this Alex Austin guy. He's a core special teamer type dude. He's just a gunner kind of guy. That's who he is. But we've had luck in that. And then the Ben Sims, the tight end from the Vikings that we brought in here. He was on the Vikings last year. And then
so Ali, I've learned a few words the past couple days, bro, that are kind
of watching Goldie and Armin's channel. Yeah,
that we can use to meme the shit out of people. Y'all have heard of Atlanta Falcons' new quarterback, Mush Tua, right?
Oh, god damn. That's
Moose
funny.
means mouse.
I know. I just thought it was funny.
If you put it in front of a word, you're saying Tua the mouse. Moose Tua.
Well, when you need him, you can't find him because he's on his couch eating chips. So yeah, I guess you're kind of right.
That Zane Anderson was a safety, was a Packer with the Packers, special team guy and a safety guy. So again, mixed bag of nuts here. Coming to Miami. And, his name is Zane. He's a white boy. So we'll see.
Who was the defensive lineman we got from the 49ers?
Let me see where I have it.
Is he worth looking at, or is he just another camp body kind of guy?
Oh, wait. No. Let me see where it's at. If I can find it. There's the Zane Gonzalez. I don't see it. For the Niners?
Yeah, we got somebody from the Niners. I'll look it up. 1 second.
Hey man, looks like our
my notes are all
looks like our CIA handlers in the kick chat, dude.
I know. I just saw that.
Oh man, damn.
Hey homie, I can get you all the clicks. Hit me up over here on Discord. Yeah. It's like, okay, Fed.
Enter in your social security, blood type, and mother's maiden name, and I'll give you all.
And take all this money. Take all this money, or we're gonna end your whole family.
It's actually a defensive edge. It's defensive end Robert Beal Jr. signing with the Dolphins.
Huh. I can't find it. I thought I had that on my list. Where the hell
It's on Yahoo Sports. Finsider reported it, and so did 49ers Web Zone.
I got it right here. Yep.
We need you to say everything we want you to say. Yeah, you got two choices. You can either take all this money and be rich, or we'll end your whole family. Not a hard choice to make.
Yeah,
I mean, at least they're fair. At least they're fair.
I don't really know much about Robert Beal, so
neither do I. That's why I was asking you. I'm gonna have to research that.
I thought I hold on. Did I see something? Hold on.
What's up, Mountie? I saw you the other night.
He was a 5th round pick.
Okay. All right. Never mind. Yeah, you need special teamer guys. I mean, that's what a lot of it looks like. So the Dolphins, and we're gonna end with the last. I'm not gonna end, but we're gonna go get to our last guy that we signed, and this I believe to be the last free agent signing, and then they'll do the draft, and then they'll do second wave of free agency, and UDFAs and cuts and blah 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 blah, and they'll add people, yada yada yada. But they started with the Malik Willis signing, which is a big deal, and then they end with the Tutu Atwell wide receiver signing, and that is a Miami Dolphins off-season sandwich, right? They give you something in the very beginning, right off the bat. We're all like, "Yes, we did it." And then at the end, when it tapers off, they make a sneaky signing. You're like, ooh. And it's name recognition and big change along with name recognition. And with a bunch of who the fucks are all these guys in the middle.
But I would also say name recognition that comes with the backing, like real name recognition. Like the reason we know those names is because they actually perform.
Of course.
For me,
yes. Go ahead.
For me, I'm sorry. Well, one, I was not really impressed with the Malik Willis signing. So I ain't one of them, but some people are. It's like 50-50. Either you are or you're not on board with that, right? For me, I'm not. For me, I think it was a non-risk deal, to be honest. So it's not that big of a deal, but it is what it is. This signing, I'm more on board with because of what this guy, I've seen him do on the field, right? At the Rams, I've seen him take it to the house. I've seen him used in ways that I wish we use our receiver. He can be your underneath guy. He can be a deeper threat. He can almost play that. And I'm not trying to compare the two because they're two different levels. But you can use him in a way that they use Amon St. Brown at Detroit. Right.
As well as Tyreek Hill in Miami, which is precisely, to follow you up, Ali, which is precisely what the Rams and Sean McVay were doing with Tutu Atwell.
Until Puka got there. And let's be real, because last year Tutu Atwell did not get the type of usage we've seen him. And I mean, he really 2025, he fell off of a cliff.
Suffer a little bit of an injury too, I think.
He did, but even when he was around, he was only used to stretch out
well, by the time he got back from injury, Puka had blown up.
I mean, he played 10 games last year. He only got 15 targets, 6 receptions with 192 yards and 1 touchdown.
The year before, I can't remember which receiver went down.
He was killing it. Year before,
I was gonna say year before he was really killing it because the other guy that was ahead of him went down and he got all the looks and everyone found out who he was. That's why I'm like, if we can kind of give him the looks, I think he can maybe do some of that stuff. I'm just talking about talent, what I know he can do on the field because I've seen.
Ali,
that's all I'm saying.
Just to clarify, I mean, and I was going to speak on the Tutu Atwell signing anyway, but I mean, it's nothing like you're not talking about a Tyreek type talent or nothing.
No,
but you are talking about a very, very high caliber wide receiver. You know what I mean?
I think he's a good catch. I think he can really catch the ball. He has good hands. He has speed. He has, the way he moves and the way he runs routes. I think he can do a lot.
Like if we're not getting production out of this guy,
we're doing something wrong. We're doing something wrong.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with that.
That good. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing: just because we signed this guy doesn't mean our wide receiver room is fixed. We still need another guy, and for me. I think that's going to come in the draft, and don't be surprised if it's more of a bigger body receiver. To be honest,
yeah,
I still think.
We did hear something about
Malik was calling for.
Go ahead, Colin. What did you or Cap? What did you hear? Go ahead, Cap.
I would totally take who Malik's calling for and getting CJ Daniels, who is a guy I think you can most certainly grab on the second day. He's not a first round guy. He's not going to go in the first round. Where he goes, I don't know. I'd have to really put it all together.
This I wasn't aware of either.
Yeah, Tyrone. I was telling Color earlier today. I said Tutu Atwell's high school tape is fucking unbelievable. I mean, in South Florida, smoking motherfucker. I mean, anyhow, and I mean, when we're talking like coming out of high school, so highly rated and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But again, here's the thing. Last year, Tutu Atwell got paid $10 million for 1 year contract with the Rams because he played really good in 2024. And then in 2025, he played those 10 games.
Man, Tua didn't even get that much from Atlanta.
What did the Dolphins end up getting him for? I have to imagine it to be quite a bargain. But are we talking,
I think it's already out.
contract?
Let me look that up.
No, it's not. I already looked it up. It's not out yet.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Yeah, he's an all-around upper echelon wide receiver for sure. We should be expecting. I would put his WAR number at 0.5 for us. Like we should expect a half a win on our season total because of this guy.
What you're getting with Tutu Atwell is potential explosive plays. And that's, look, again, when you have Malik Willis, who has a hell of an arm, and, we're going to obviously, what it looks like, what we were kind of predicting is we're going to be in a lot of 2 tight end sets, a lot of stretch run plays, a lot of play action, rollouts and stuff like that with check downs. And every now and again, when they go to single high safety and cheat up in the box, you're going to push the ball down the field with a Tutu Atwell or whomever else. And really,
what's up, RM Dizzle? Hit that like button.
Welcome to Matt Yinzer.
Yeah, you're right. It's not out. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's only a couple hours ago, right? It'll probably come out soon rather.
I know you guys like CJ Daniels, but to be 100% honest, one thing I like about this draft, it's wide receiver loaded. There's a lot of different receivers we could look at, and there's a lot of fast and athletic and good hands receivers. There's a guy I really like. He may not be the fastest guy, but he's one of the best runners and the best contested catcher, in my opinion, based on a lot of film I've watched. I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 that you'd probably say is better, but I think we could get him in the perfect spot. Jacoby Lane out of USC, man. Go get me Jacoby Lane. To be honest, that's who I want.
I find him to be a little bit more durable than CJ too. But CJ, I don't know. To me, I've watched CJ Daniels like take over entire quarters and halves and games and stuff. But there is such a big dude, and he lays out there for him. He tends to get a little nicked up here and there. But hit the like button, everybody. Real quick. I don't know if you heard it earlier, Color, but Kader Kohu has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, good for him, man. Good for him. They need a good tackler.
And Color, I'll ask you this because I feel like you're the closest in the head of Kader Kohu with your.
I really didn't want to lose him, but whatever.
Yeah, I know you didn't, buddy. And I've always been a big champion of Kader Kohu, but let's call it for what it is. That's your guy. You've watched him very intently.
I firmly believe it. I would argue he's the best technical tackler in the league.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. And I'm not going to push back because I watched a lot of him, and I would say he is fucking money. Kader Kohu put on X after getting signed. He wrote survivor's remorse. What does that mean, Color?
I don't know. That's interesting.
Survivor's remorse.
I'm sorry, Color, but can I tell you what I said?
Yeah, please
do, because that's
I'll give you the
for a little while.
I'll give you the gist. I think that his tenure as a Miami Dolphin, he witnessed some of the most biggest shenanigans ever. To the point where he was like, why the fuck am I here? These guys aren't like serious about what they do. And I think that the whole best friends club was a bunch of bullshit. And the fact is that I think he thinks that, or whatever happened, I think is a lot worse than what the public knows. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everything we saw, the issues between Tua and Tyreek Hill, and the all people meetings and all this stuff that we heard in public, That's only half the story. I'm willing to bet there's so much more, and it's a lot worse than what we think.
It's interesting. It's confusing. It's gonna take me a minute, Ali, because like surviving what? And in what capacity? In other words, you got moved, you got signed by the Chiefs, you survived as far as your career in the NFL. Was it that bad? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think he was happy in Miami at all. I think the team.
well, usually survivor's remorse. Maybe he's using the wrong word. I think he meant to say survivor's guilt. Is when you're with a crew that completely got decimated, and you're the only one that survived.
I don't know. I think you can look at it different ways. Why it's
confusing to me. Like, what crew got decimated that he sees himself as a survivor of? You know what I mean?
Buyer's remorse generally refers to the fact when you bought something, you're not happy with it, right?
No, he said survivor's remorse.
I know. I'm telling you what buyer's remorse means usually. Now, survivor's remorse, I take that as in the sense that they had me there, but I wasn't happy. You know what I mean? I'm not the buyer. I'm the product, and I wasn't happy. He survived being in. I think it's almost like, yes, I got out. I survived that situation.
For having to have left, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
having survived. Yeah. I don't know. I hear what you're saying there.
I just think the situation's a lot worse than what we think. I think that's what it was.
Survivor's remorse, I took that to mean survivor's guilt, which means whatever crew he was a part of socially, maybe, you know what I mean, got decimated, and he survived it, and he's the only one that survived it.
I think
maybe reputation, maybe everybody else was fake while he was putting the work in, so he feels remorseful that he's the only one that survived the decimation.
So
that's a good point.
I think it's more of this. He feels guilty for how good he feels for getting out of Miami.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I
you think he's guilty of he couldn't get it done in Miami kind of thing? Is what you're saying?
But also, why should he be feeling guilty? Because it's almost Stockholmish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, remember, UDFA got a shot here in Miami. We signed him to a 3-year deal on a rookie contract. We kept him on the 10-year that we got on for last year because he was on a 10-year, and he got injured, and he feels like, honestly, getting injured, not playing, and now getting the hell out of Miami while things are changing and everything looks different. I shouldn't feel
remorseful. I had to leave Miami, but I'm glad I survived.
Yeah, but also in the same fact that I feel a little ashamed of how happy I am to get the fuck out of there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that, I wanted that to be my home, my temple, and now I feel guilty for having taken care of number one and gotten the hell out of there. You know what I mean?
Red Boss has a good one too. Look, he said, I think Cater survived this regime, or the last regime meaning, but this is where he made / launched.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. He had to take the steps to survive, and now he's feeling guilty for having to have been selfish in doing that because he really cared about Miami.
Again, you know what? A class act all the way to the end. Cater Kohu, we hardly knew thee.
I kind of agree with your take. I think it could go either way, though. Either way, looking at it, but I agree with what you're saying. I do think he was a dog. I think he was the best defensive player that we had. Best, as you said, best tackler, one of the best tacklers in the league, if not. I wouldn't say the best because I kind of give Brooks that, to be honest, because that guy's a machine tackling. But I do think he's one of the best at his position. And the reality for me is that I think he was a dog surrounded by people that were acting like high school children, and he was much more mature than that. And that's why I think that's how he survived. He had to survive around that.
Just like if you left, if you really, really loved your spouse but had to divorce them, you know what I mean, and get away from them,
Mhm.
you'd be like, I'm remorseful that I lost that.
Yeah, I'm remorseful.
But
I'm
I had to
for
do
the
it to
failure.
survive. So it's
Yeah, I'm
survivor's
remorseful
remorse.
for the
You know what I mean?
failure, and also I'm remorseful for how good I feel that I'm rid of this failure. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Yeah,
lot. There's a lot
definitely.
of
I
it's
feel
layered
bad
there.
that I'm happy without them.
That's right. I feel bad how happy I am to say fuck you. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
But that, Cater, don't beat yourself up because it's
No,
Kansas
that's a
City.
real
I mean,
human emotion.
don't feel guilty for being happy with a Super Bowl champion.
Oh, appreciate the sub, Mad Yinzer. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. But yeah,
another-
definitely. I don't be remorseful. Be happy.
I mean,
You know, your
You only
career.
feel
You
happy
still have
because
your
you're
whole
with a
career ahead of
champion
you.
team now, you know what I mean? So don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm being a bitch.
Go get what's deserved, you know?
Yeah, I'm being a bitch, dog.
After
right,
having
so,
to deal with Tua for the past 3 years, go get yours. That's all I'm gonna say.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's been a lot going on.
Maybe I mean, corner is the type of position that we could easily see him landed back here one day in the future, you know?
Well, it sucks letting him go because I'll tell you what, we've been signing corners all over the place. Another corner slipped in between the Tutu Atwell news. Former Cincinnati Bengals corner Marco Wilson signs a 1-year deal. I don't really feel good about that so much because let's call it for what it is. Cincinnati's defense has been terrible. So again, mixed bag of nuts here, boys. We're gonna find out. It's anybody's game. Now here's the question.
But sins of the father, though, there, Cap. Should we really hold? Maybe he was the best they had, you know?
Maybe he's the untapped treasure that Sully and Halfley are looking for. I will say this: a lot of these guys picked from the not even picked from the tree, just picked up. They already fell off the tree. They're just picking them up off the ground. Some of these apples are going to be sour and bruised and disgusting and got bugs in them, and there's going to be a few that are going to be in perfect condition, and we're going to be able to get some
chop off the canker and make
we're
some
gonna be able to
more.
get nourishment about that. Nah, I ain't fucking cutting around the cank on it. You got me fucked up. Throw that piece of shit away and get it up out of here. All right.
There really is nothing wrong with a canker-fied orange, right?
I know, but you know what? I'm not a big orange guy. Crazy. I know from all the years in Florida. It's probably because I used to eat oranges till my face would blister when I was young. Now I don't even really like them.
Well, the whole thing is that we're trying to eradicate this fungus on our orange trees, which does nothing to the flavor of the orange. It poses no threat to human beings, right?
You're talking about the ick?
Yeah, the canker on oranges.
Yeah.
But because it's not marketable in the grocery store, because nobody buys the ones that have canker on them in the pile of oranges at the grocery store, that's why they're eradicating the fungus. It really doesn't harm you, though.
I still don't want it for all the reasons you just said. All the reasons you just said, I still don't want it. So, but yeah, we bring in this guy. We bring in this Marco Wilson character. Now, again, here's the thing I'm going to be looking at, right? The Dolphins and Chris Greer, and I picked up on it a couple years, they would sign a lot of free agent DBs, right? They'd sign, just like now, 5 fucking DBs, 1 safety, 4 friggin' CBs. The guys will come in, they'll do the medias with them. They'll talk to coach about them. They'll show you all this practice tape. They'll do all this stuff. The Dolphins media will hype them up. And then, they'll draft with their first pick a fucking cornerback, right? It's a smoke and fucking mirrors, boys. And I don't know, is that how Sully, is playing this? Is that how he's going to do it? Are the Dolphins signing essentially tight ends and cornerbacks only, and that's going to be our first 2 picks is a fucking cornerback and a tight end?
I will say, going with the same route Ali did earlier, he comes from Green Bay, and Green Bay actually is used to having good corners and good tight ends, man.
Yeah.
They had Clinton, Dix. We could go through the names of corners.
Rasul Douglas is a former Packer. Let's not forget that. But he's not with us anymore. I get it.
Both of those positions, though. Remember that.
That's true.
Paying both of those positions and letting talent walk to not overpay in the both of those positions. Watched them do it a bunch. They got out of that Jair Alexander on time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's one thing they do very well.
They
Correct.
do.
You might have a little tiny little speck of light at the end of this long ass tunnel.
Well, I will say where we're picking, there are two corners that I think would be game changers for us. I want the guy from LSU. That's the corner I'm targeting, and I think he'll be a game changer. Like he'll be an instant starter. Definitely, boundary guy. I think overall, I think he could do a lot for us. We're also looking at the guy from Tennessee. I can't think of his name off my head right now. But there's quite a few corners in this draft. For me, we addressed the defensive line position in the last draft. We drafted 3 defensive linemen, right? And we just brought another one in. Actually, no, he's a defensive end. I want to say the first pick is going to either be corner or defensive end. That's what I think is going to happen. That's where my money's at.
I'll tell you what, if they don't go DB with the first pick, I do think defensive end could be. You can always listen. You can never get. I mean, Chop and Kenneth Grant, young guys. But let's call it for what it is. If you're not drafting a pass rusher every year, every other year, you'll be ultimately paying for one. And I watch it bankrupt teams every fucking year. I watch it bankrupt football teams all the fucking time because you buy a year and a half of production, you pay on it for 5 fucking years. And if you're not drafting those guys, then you're going to end up paying them. If you're going to pay them, it better be to win a Super Bowl in 2 years. If not, you're fucked.
9 times out of 10, that's the team with their heads hung low at the end of the Super Bowl. Bro.
Yeah, dude, because it's just a lot, man. It really is.
And their whole wad is busted.
And always the best pass rushers that are on either cheap deals or on rookie contracts or under contract that are the best are always on shitty teams.
Anybody heard from Khalil Mack lately? Still no Khalil Mack lately. No. Okay.
I think he did sign somewhere, but yeah, again, a great example of what we're just talking about. But
Mansour Delaney is the guy I want. By the way, somebody asked me that Mansour Delaney is who I want. I just can't think of the guy from Tennessee that everyone talks about. I think it's McCoy, but then they have another. They have another corner that was at the combine that I know ran like a 440, 4.40, something like that. But I like the guy at LSU. I think he's the perfect package. You get him, you have an instant start at corner, and then you follow it up with either safety or a different position. Like I said, that kid,
Ali, great athletes. Dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
If day 2 comes and we're adding a DB on day 2, I'm gonna play Homer here, and I say go get Keontae Scott. You want a fucking game changer, a leader, a type of attitude guy? Keontae Scott out of Miami is all of those things. I don't know exactly. I don't know if 43 that in the second round is a little rich for the pick, but I wouldn't be mad at it. Something to watch because he's not going to go day 1, but he's definitely going day 2. So
we'll see, man. Howard was a day 2 guy, so we'll see what they do. We'll definitely see what they do. I think if Mansour Delaney is on the available at 11 and you don't pick him, you fucked up. That's all I'm gonna say.
What about what's his name from Tennessee? McCoy.
Well, that's the other guy. I think that's what I was thinking of. Germond McCoy.
It's close though. It's Germond.
Yeah. I've heard he's injured or has some kind of injury issue. So I don't know how I feel about that, but Mansour Delaney is much better. Just watch the tape, bro. Just watch the tape. It speaks for itself.
I got to be honest, Ali, and I know you're a diehard Ohio guy, and I know there's a ton of Dolphin fans that are Sonny Styles. I'm not going to be happy if we get Sonny Styles. I think
you're stupid if you're not. if you're happy. I'm sorry, I take that back. I think you're stupid if you're not happy because Sonny Styles, I really think he is something special in this league. Wherever he goes.
I agree with you in the fact that, whatever, but okay, I'm going to give you what I think to be a very good comparison, and they're both really good coming out of college on championship teams. Okay. Nakobe Dean. And I believe me, if I wanted Nakobe Dean in the first round too, out of Georgia, a few years ago when we ended up taking fucking Channing Tindall. I understand I think they're very close. Maybe their styles and everything like that, and obviously personalities.
He turned out to be the guy.
But I agree that both those picks in value and worth, you're never going to be mad at it, right? I don't think on a value sense at Sonny Styles at 11 and Miami gets him and plays here for the next 5 years that you're never going to be mad at it, right? But I don't. As far as how I think this team needs to plug up holes and build towards the future, I don't see that as the smart play to do.
Okay, now you're kind of speaking my language a little bit. I'll tell you what. Yeah. One, I don't agree with you. I think Sonny Styles athletically and football IQ way higher than Nakobe Dean. That's number one. Number two.
I'll give him the edge.
Number two. Okay, number two. If you ever looked into Sonny Styles' background, that whole family are a bunch of athletic freaks, bro. His dad, it looks like a freaking world-class bodybuilder compared to him.
Yeah,
no joke.
Like an Olympian, like a Mr. Olympian like guy or something like that.
Yeah, dude, the guy looks massive, right? Yeah. That's number two. And then number three, this is where I agree with you. If you look at it positionally in the needs of this team, it doesn't necessarily make sense. To me, if I'm drafting for this team, I'm going to look at the biggest weaknesses and who's going to have the biggest improvement to that room. And you get Sonny Styles, you have Brooks there. We might have one or two other players there, right? And they fill the void pretty well. It's not going to be the biggest jump. But if you bring in a Mansour Delaney to our cornerback room, that's a massive jump. You understand what I'm saying? There's a bigger impact on the team. I just don't think Sonny Styles. Granted, I would love to have him on this team. It would be amazing. I think we would have one of the best linebacker rooms ever.
It sounds like you guys are in a little bit of disagreement about his level of talent, but
no. Well, maybe a little bit.
No. Agreement on our direction away from it,
bro. There was a point in this in the regular season, right? We're talking about a guy that had a 100% tackle rate. That means he was successful on every freaking tackle, right? I'm sorry, you cannot say that person doesn't have talent. Let alone you saw how he measured out. He blew everything out of the water at the combine. And the last person to do that, to be honest, which was the safety that everybody wanted, right, last year. And look at what he just did. He just won the Super Bowl. So I just think I'm telling you right now, I think this guy has the athleticism.
But it sounds like there's more agreement as far as our direction.
Hold on, Color. What pick was that safety? What's the name of the safety? I know you're talking about. What was he?
Shit, I can't. I think he went in the second round. To be honest, I can't remember exactly where he went. But my point is, when you see that type of
Sonny Styles, and we were picking him at 15 or 16, I would be elated.
I wouldn't, based on the positions of needs that we have. I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I'm a BPA guy, but I'm also like almost calculated in where.
I get what you're saying. I just think corner is a bigger position of need right now that you can't let it go by.
Ali, the point he's making is that if we were picking higher like that 20, 21, we probably our positional needs would be altogether different because of where we're drafting. You know what I mean?
Definitely, 100%. I agree with that. But we're talking. Listen, for me, it's more like this. Right? We're talking about a guy that I expect to be in this league for a long ass time and be one of the most productive linebackers in this league because he has that type of not just football IQ. He has the IQ for it. I'm sorry, not the IQ, the work ethic for it. It's a guy you don't have to babysit. We worry about guys that come here to South Florida because they're going to want to party and live the Miami lifestyle, right? That's what we always talk about, and it ends up being their downfall. This is a guy you could bring in. You don't have to worry about that because what is he going to do? Put his nose down and go to work. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy. He lets it all out on the field, right? He has all the athleticism. I'm telling you straight up, he's a can't-miss guy. But for me, still, picking that position over corner right now, it's hard for me to do that because I think corner is our weakest link, and we need the most help there than anywhere else on this team.
Well, in a West Coast league, corner has to be the priority these days.
Yeah, that's why I think our first pick is going to be corner, or if it's not corner, it's going to be in the secondary somehow.
Anything that's going to help contain the edge.
I've got some of my draft notes out, and I'm looking at some of the things I have, like some of the little bit of clips and stuff I put together up here on my screen.
Ultimately, the secondary is going to be
LSU, Delane.
That's the guy I'm talking about, Mansour Delane. You cannot miss on that guy. Delaney's the guy I want, no matter what.
Well, the other thing,
I have the same thinking. Again, I have the same thinking of like getting a Sonny Styles on this team currently right now I don't want to say it's a luxury pick, but that's the best way I can explain it.
Does he play outside or inside?
He plays all levels. He can play anywhere.
But that's the thing, though.
He's talking
100%. If he's talking about 100% tackle rate like that at one time,
he's great.
That's the guy we need containing our edge, bro.
He's really good. Again, I'm not going to take anything away from Sonny Styles. I think he can play at any standing linebacker position and not be a liability at any given moment. I don't think the guy, in any case, will never be not good. We can debate on, how long his career will be.
I'm speaking purely as need in a West Coast league where you got a guy with that kind of tackle rate who can play an outside linebacker position.
It's the same argument at Rich for My Blood at 11 and where this football team is tearing down. And it'd be like as if the Dolphins went ahead and got Jeremiah Love. Right?
I understand.
They went and got Jeremiah Love at running back.
Almost like quarterback.
If they got Jeremiah Love at running back from Notre Dame, I would quarterback color. That's another fucking thing. Like if they went and they got I don't know. If there's only one quarterback to me that is worth anything, and that's for Fernando Mendoza. Because the next guy on the list you're talking about is what? Fucking
Ty Simpson. Everyone's high on Ty Simpson. I think Taylene Green's a better pick, but that's
I won't watch this team anymore if they fucking pick Ty Simpson in the first round.
I'm done, bro. I'm done at that point. I think I'm done.
I might not watch this team.
But no. But what I'm talking about, color, I understand that would be a need, and it would be really awesome to have a guy that can put out that type of production with you. I agree. But when you look at the room that you have there, you have Brooks, right? I don't know if we have Ty Dotson, but if we can re-sign him, that would be awesome. But you look at who you have there. Do you think there's a bigger improvement from having those two guys and then having Sonny Styles, or is there a bigger improvement to a cornerback room that I don't know anyone's name but maybe Marshall, right? Because Kader Kohu now is gone, who you just said is one of the best tacklers in this league,
well, that's what
right?
Concerns me about the tackling on the edge.
Well, Dotson is still under contract, Ali.
So. Okay, good. So yeah, that just proves my point even more. The level of improvement is less than bringing in a guy like Mansour Delane from LSU to be your corner. I think that you look at the increase that you get having him in the corner position, you'll have overall you're getting much more success than you have Sonny Styles in the middle. Listen, I love Sonny Styles, and I'm trying to be objective and not run in my homer side of it because I want that guy to be drafted high. I want to be right that he was a can't miss kind of guy. But for us as the Miami Dolphins, we have a lot of needs, and I would rather get the biggest wins while we can. That's that. Instead of a small win, I want the big win. You know what I mean?
You're talking risk reward management and where we sit currently, and how can you be further rewarded for where you're picking? I think I think this also presents a bigger opportunity along with need and necessity while and meeting opportunity, meaning that this year expectations can't be that high. The money's not there. We're in a rebuild program. You're very few opportunities are the fans going to have expectations at a point where you get a mulligan on this first round pick. Now, I don't mean, roll the fucking dice and bet it all on red. You know what I'm saying? What I mean is that you can have a little bit of foresight in taking like positions that are routinely take a little bit of time to get cooking, like offensive line, like defensive line, pass rusher. A lot of these corners coming out today are coming out polished in the first round, especially. A lot of wide receivers coming out polished. Now, I'm not saying don't go wide receiver, don't go corner, but if they want to, I don't want to say reach, but if they want to, if for whatever reason you see fucking 3 edge players come off the board, you know what I'm saying? You see, which you probably will. You'll probably see, the Texas Tech kid. You're definitely going to see Ruben Bain. They're coming off the board. And then maybe the other edge kid, fucking from Texas A&M, goes off the field, and then the Clemson kid comes off or something. Like you see like a run on him. If you took a swing on edge because you looked at it and you're like, shit, we're falling off, and like there's some manipulation that can kind of force your hand here, while also being in a position where you could say, yeah, I know going with I don't know, the fucking guy from Auburn, what's his name, Ali, the D-line guy.
Shit, I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of his name on top of my head right this
Dude's a
moment.
fucking monster. They don't know if he's gonna play like edge or pass. They don't like anyhow but okay, so fuck. I wish I could remember. Anyhow, but if they go the Clemson kid or something, I don't know. They pick one of these edge guys up. I'm not going to be
There's
mad at that.
Arvell Reese from Ohio State too.
That's true. Again, I'm not going to be upset, and this is my homer hat, but if they reached, and people would say at 11 it would be a reach, but taking Akeem Mesidor from Miami, I think I know he's a little long in the tooth as far as in the first round goes, but that's a guy I don't. But again, I would say, I think Akeem Mesidor day one isn't as much of a reach as some of these younger edge players that have these upside on them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's going to be some risk management in this, and they got to kind of take an opportunity that if they go, look, we have this tackle, we have this D lineman, we got this, wide receiver. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
It is definitely going to be interesting what they do. There's a lot of people projecting us to take Carnell Tate now, who's a big-bodied wide receiver. So that's kind of interesting. But I don't know. I think for me, I think it just makes sense. You're going to pick somebody in the secondary. Another position to look at is safety.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at Caleb Downs. If Caleb Downs is there at 11,
Mr. Polk's been screaming about it in the chat. Ali, talk to us about safety real quick.
If Caleb Downs is there and they go with Caleb Downs, again, I'm not going to be mad at it. I don't know. I guess to me, Caleb Downs is a little bit different than Sonny Styles personally, because let's call it for what it is. He can play all over in the secondary. At safety is obviously where he's most strongest, but he cleans up a lot of things. Caleb Downs, and to me, positionally, financially, it's a much more expensive position. There's a reason why there's probably going to be 9 fucking edge rushers taken in the first round. It's because they get paid a lot of fucking money, and you want to try to take these money positions. And safety, although corners are way higher paid than safeties, the top safeties make a lot of fucking money. And I think Caleb Downs is a lot of money safety. Now, Sonny Styles could be the highest paid linebacker in the fucking league one day. But that's going to be a piss in the bucket to the highest paid safety and a piss in the bucket to the highest paid fucking edge player. And we need all of them, right?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? We need all of them. If we're playing the long game, that's what you need to do.
See, for me, what my dream first 2 picks would be. Maybe even not even my first 2 picks, because there's a chance my guy falls down to the 3rd round. And we can get him there maybe. But you take Mansour Delane, the corner out of LSU, with the first pick, right? And then you could look at picking up a safety in either the 2nd or 3rd round. And let's say you got my guy from St. Petersburg, the guy that played for Toledo.
Mhm.
I would be happy. It didn't matter who else you drafted that draft. You got those 2 names on the draft board. I'm good with it. And the
about,
reason for me, I'm talking about what's his name, McNeil Warren, the guy that played for Toledo. He's from not South Florida. He's from St. Petersburg. I don't know if that's considered South Florida or not.
Yeah, definitely.
And
they would call that West Coast.
yeah, he freaking. What do you mean? No.
If it ain't south of Okeechobee, it ain't South Florida.
There you go. It's not South Florida. I guess it's still Central Florida then. But he's from Florida. I have to give the guy credit, and he's really good. He's one of the hardest hitting safeties I've seen watching tape. And bro, in like I said, some people think he can play. He's going to be an awesome free safety. I say he can do both very well. Some people compare him to who was that safety that we had out of Detroit that used to lay the hit all the time, and then we ended up losing him to Pittsburgh. I think he went to Pittsburgh.
Deshaun Elliott.
Yes. Some people think he hits hard like him. I think he hits harder, to be honest. I think he hits harder.
And he made some good hits, but like Rashad Jones hit way fucking harder than Deshaun.
I'm telling you, this guy can hit hard like that. I've seen some laid out hits, and I'm like, holy shit! And not just in the open field, in the secondary, up on the line of scrimmage too. I've seen him lay out a running back, like stuff like that. Yeah, well, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
I was gonna show this Malik Willis.
I thought you already did. I was gonna ask.
No, didn't show it.
Last couple of minutes to ask y'all's impression.
I know you're gonna probably show it in the next episode or whatever, but can I just make a comment about Malik Willis? Is it me, or he looks so much bigger than Tua, bro?
He looks so much bigger than I thought. I mean, just look. You know what? Little sneak preview, because I don't think we'll be able to get it on tomorrow night, but Saturday night we're definitely coming on. Tune in, because Grumpy's going to do some co-hosting with us. I got to get with Grumpy Saturday to help him out. He's got a mic. He's got some setup. He's putting his toes in the water, Ali, in color. So I told him, as we always do around
Grumpy
here,
unfiltered.
Oh, I know, right? So he's putting his toes in the water. We'll see if we can get him a little wet behind the ears, boys. Ooh,
well, I was going to say, should I jump him right in with the memeing?
Which meeting?
Sit in the back and memeing.
Oh yeah. Well, I told him, like, look, we got a process around here, right? And everybody's played it a little bit, because some of us have more computer skills than others. Grumpy, self-admittedly, is completely green, so we're gonna have to, all give him a hand. But guys, it's fun. I like doing it. So, but I will do this as a little bit of a preview for Saturday. Look at Malik Willis.
He looks so much taller than what Tua stood. I'm like, holy shit.
He looks so much bigger than I thought. Like, he is.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Just him standing there, not knowing how tall he is, which I already know how tall he is, but let's just say I didn't know, just looking at this picture, and this was the first time I saw him. I would say he looks like a defensive end or something standing there.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a quarterback.
Definitely not.
Color.
All right. Well, first impression, not too bad. He looks like a quarterback.
Does he look like a quarterback, or does he look like?
No, I mean, he looks like a quarterback. He's tall. You know what I mean? Looks can be deceiving. That dude looks like he can sling the ball right out of the stadium, bro.
I've heard he has a strong arm, so we'll see. We will see.
I mean, look, the only thing wrong with him at this point is that he's not that he don't have the goods upstairs, but we know that guy don't have the goods upstairs, so at least we'll get the arm strength.
Well, here's the thing, right? We just seen Malik Willis, and then we're looking at Tua. Are we looking at it with rose-colored glasses because this is the quarterback body type we were looking at for so long?
Well, yeah, like I said, he could if his processing upstairs is as inferior as that guy, at least we got a strong arm.
It always looks bigger in small hands. You see what I'm saying?
Well, one of the things we used to say, well, hey, just send your receiver out and throw it as deep as you can. Well, this guy can definitely put it out in front of a receiver. So
he can really put it out, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Look, all right, guys. On that note, we are ending this one. I appreciate everybody coming by and chatting and hanging out with us. Ali, thanks for coming through. Color, thanks for coming through. Saturday night, boys. I expect to see you guys.
I'll come through. I can't hang out the whole time, but I'll definitely come through.
We're gonna do toss back a couple of drinks, have a little bit of a time. Let's do it, boys. Appreciate everybody coming by. Hit the like button, and we'll see y'all next time. Fins up.